Hey, it's Josie, and welcome back to my Patreon. Welcome back to my story. What are we going to talk about today? Porta potties. Yes. As you've noticed, a lot of my story isn't pleasant. So again, I'm going to give you this warning. If you're going to show your children any of these videos for educational purposes, motivational purposes, or whatever, watch the video first, okay? It's very important. Anyway, I want to talk to you about porta potties today and why I don't like them. Instead of just giving you war stories and trying to put it in chronological orders, I will go by triggers instead. So, when I got overseas to Iraq, this was in 2003, but it was at the end of the year, somewhere around Thanksgiving sometime, right? When I got there, we were still in tents. That's where we lived, inside of tents. We didn't have trailers. I was in the Army. We didn't have trailers and SUVs and all this and that. And you know I'm taking a jab at the Air Force because I made me an Air Force friend over there. Anyway, rolling around in the latest model SUVs. That still gets me to this day. Anyway, living in trailers. Let me stop. Stay on task. Anyway, so we had porta potties for a while. Okay, we started seeing changes like once we were leaving, but by then we weren't there anymore, and I wasn't coming back. I had already made up my mind. So first thing I want to tell you about is my experience going to the restroom in the middle of the night in a war zone in Iraq, in the desert where it gets dark. It's dark outside, like when you go camping dark. When you're not in the city, there's not a whole bunch of lights. It's real dark out there, so you gotta have your flashlight. Like going to the restroom is not like when you're at home in your house and no, it's not. And some people thought it was a bright idea to use plywood as like a sidewalk, trying to be helpful and all this and that. Not very helpful, especially when it rains. Yeah. In Iraq, what happens when it rains is that the sand gets sticky like toothpaste. It's really weird. I guess it's just that fine. It's weird. Anyway, it can be quite a mission in itself just going to use the restroom in the middle of the night. Okay? And a lot of people did not even use the restroom. Like, it gets cold at night too. Yeah, you're in the desert. Yeah, it's super hot during the day. But just like when you go camping, it's freezing at night, right? And during the day, it's hot as hell. So many extremes. But yeah, you put on all of your clothes. Usually we sleep in PTs. The little windbreaker, the t-shirt. But yeah, you got to put your jacket on, zip it up, put on your shoes to go to the restroom. You got to get prepared to walk out there in the middle of the night with God knows what animals or critters. Camel spiders. Yeah, camel spiders are like the size of a dinner plate. Man, they're something out of a movie. You think about all of this stuff when you're leaving your tent and you're walking to this porta potty. Okay? So yeah, you got to be careful. You got to have your flashlight, right? So you get there, and just like all porta potties everywhere, there may or may not be toilet paper. So you might want to just keep some with you at all times. Baby wipes are life. Especially out in the field, right? All baby wipes are life, okay? Hygiene is important. But check this out. There are some people that don't grow up the same as other people, that don't have the same beliefs and just have not experienced life the same way. So some people when you open a porta potty, and this happens everywhere too, when you open a porta potty and it looks like a damn murder scene. Right? I mean, I know some of y'all feel me who've gone to events outdoors and things like that, to where it still happens even in civilian life that's not in a war zone. When you're standing, after you open the door and you're looking at the situation, trying to figure out where you can stand and how you're gonna pee and all this and that without touching certain areas. when you're standing there looking at the situation, you're thinking about the last person that was in there, and you're thinking about how things went down. Like the whole story, at least that's me anyway, like the whole story flashes before your eyes, okay? The whole story just flashes. Let's see here. So yeah, and then you give yourself that pep talk. And a lot of times, I think I said this out loud, I can do this. I can do this, right? Another thing we had a lot of out there is hand sanitizer, okay? Because even the sinks that they had available to us a lot of times, outside of the bathhouses or the shower trailers, they were like operated by a pump, and you had to fill it up. It only had a certain capacity, so a lot of times there wasn't no water in them things anyway, right? So yeah, you're in there and you're doing acrobatics, trying to avoid all the nasty spots and get your business done or whatnot. And then you come out, and when you come out of a porta potty, I'm laughing at myself, Lord. When you come out of a porta potty, you feel so accomplished, but you also feel like you were saved. Like you go through so much just trying to use the restroom in a porta potty. You're just happy to be done with the experience, and you feel like you accomplished something. You feel like you were brave and all kinds of stuff. And then you go into the same mentality to be aware of anything crawling on the ground, because it's dark as hell out there. You got your flashlight, and a lot of times when you're in a war zone, this is why they have the different color lenses for the flashlights. You don't want to be just walking around with a damn flashlight bright as day at night, flashing it everywhere. So a lot of times we had to use the little red lens on the flashlight at night, right? You don't want people just to know your position, right? Anyway, so, that little red lens on that flashlight is not going to save you from no damn camel spider. So when you're walking back to your tent, you're like so paranoid. Your ears are on high alert. You're looking everywhere. It's crazy. It is nuts. Oh my God. So yeah, that's why I don't like porta potties. Because of that experience. But here's where the PTSD situation comes in, because y'all probably thought this was a fun-loving video about porta potties and why I don't like them. No. For some odd reason, I'm going to try to find some really, really happy, fun moments in my life. But for now, we're just going to have to deal with all the miserable stuff, okay? I overcame these situations, okay? That's the key here. I'm showing you that I go through crap just like you do. And I was able to overcome it so you can. That's the whole point of this. So, this is a daytime incident in Iraq. They would hire the local nationals, meaning the Middle Eastern people, to come to our personal living spaces, our tents, our little tent cities, right? And work on the little portable air conditioning units that we had in there, because everything was like Iraqi equipment and stuff, right? There were three There were 3 males, and I had a battle that I was on duty with that was a male. I don't know. And this is just what happens. You know, stuff gets real surreal out there. I don't know where this child went, where my battle went. I don't know where he disappeared to, okay? The person that was on duty with me. But, and then the interpreter, I don't know where he went either. So I'm left at a tent with 3 male local nationals that barely speak English, first of all. And somebody has to go to the restroom. And it's kind of like babysitting when you're on duty. So if one person has to go to the restroom, everybody got to go. Lottie-dottie, everybody. Let's move, right? Back to the porta potties. Don't you just love porta potties? They just, oh my gosh. No. Anyway, so we're headed to the porta potties. You know, I'm on duty, so I'm loaded. I'm carrying my weapon. We're going to the porta potties, and there's 3 of them in the porta potties. There's 3 occupied laboratories. That's what they call them, right? 2 of them came out, and 1 was still in there for a suspicious amount of time, and I got concerned. Again, I don't know where my battle or the interpreter went. And in that moment, it seemed like everybody on the planet disappeared. This is what causes these PTSD moments, okay? In that moment, I was thinking to myself, okay, he been in there too long. He might be trying to plant a bomb in the porta potty. He's doing something. This is suspicious. They've been out for a while. I need to do something. I need to say something. Where is everybody? Is anybody else seeing this? This is what I was going through in that moment, okay? And I'm like, oh my God. And I'm having to look out the corners of my eyes because I can't break the vision field of the people that I'm trying to watch, okay? I can't turn around and look. I have to stay focused on these people that are a potential threat to me. You see what I mean? So I finally say something, and I'm telling one of the guys, I said, hey, he needs to come out of that porta potty. You need to tell him that we need to go. I don't know who, what, when, where. They were probably already this way. But the men in Iraq, the local men from there, do not respect women. Newsflash, right? No, they don't. And we're kind of, especially in authority, we're kind of like a joke. Okay? I mean, they are worse than, what do you call it, construction workers doing catcalls. Like, it's bad out there. Yeah. That happens. And in that moment, I said what I said, and he seemed, I don't know if he ignored me because I'm really trying to refresh my memory. These are places that I don't really enjoy going, but I'm going there because the story needs to be told. I think he ignored me at first. I just did not get the response that I was looking for. So I repeated myself. Okay? And I was like, he needs to come out of there. Yada, yada. I don't even remember half the stuff I said. This person from another country that I was, in, speaking a language that I didn't understand, started speaking faster, and the voice inflection got higher, started speaking louder. And in that moment, I was like, okay, well, now you're not safe. You're not safe right now. This person is speaking to you in a language you don't even understand. And they're sounding aggressive, right? these are my thoughts while I'm looking at my subject. Also trying to keep an eye on his partner and thinking about the person in the damn porta potty that's probably trying to blow us up in my mind. Okay, right? And I'm having to make a choice. So I said, okay, Josie, stay cool. Stay cool because he's really not doing anything right this moment. He's just talking, you know. He's frustrated. We don't understand each other, yada, yada, right? Well, in less than a millisecond, things escalated because he took one step toward me as he was being aggressive and speaking to me in an aggressive way. That one step was a big deal. It is a big deal when you are in a war zone. That one step. Had he held his position, I would have held mine. His action caused an equal and opposite reaction in me. Therefore, I pointed my weapon directly at him. Yes, I took that sucker off of safety so quick. Yeah. And there goes one in the chamber. All I had to do was pull the trigger, right? The whole time I'm thinking to myself, Josie, you don't want to do this. It's a fucking porta potty, Josie. Like, are you serious right now? Are you really about to take a life over a porta potty? But then the other Josie was all like, I'm scared. Disable this person by any means necessary. And then the other me was like, where the hell is anybody? And does anybody see this? Where did everybody go? There were millions of people walking around in our area before all of this happened. And mind you, I swear all of this happened in just a few short minutes. But it seemed like forever. And I promise you, I felt like I was the only person on the planet in that moment. I locked and loaded on somebody because they would not get their friend out of the porta potty. That was quite an uncomfortable situation. However, this is what happened next. As soon as I locked and loaded, he took me seriously and did whatever the hell I told him to do. And then everything was fine. Right? Sorry, I had to decline a call. So yeah, everything was fine after that. I'm trying to remember what happened next. I know we went back to where they were working. And I think I had to basically wait. I put my weapon back on safety, but I had to wait until somebody came around because, mind you, everybody seemed to have disappeared. But as soon as I got a hold of somebody, as soon as anybody came back around, I was like, hey, I have an emergency. You know, I have one in the chamber and it needs to be discharged, you know, because the rules are, you know, take it to your first sergeant, not Lord have mercy, your squad leader, whoever's in charge of you, right? You got to do your counseling statement and they have to, you know, get the ammunition out of the weapon. Because I was already, you know, I'm walking around at the ready. You know, you can't do that. So, you know, I don't quite remember who it was. I think it was my platoon sergeant at the time that discharged my weapon for me. And I don't even remember if there was a counseling statement or what, because this is what happens in these situations. So when y'all be asking about, well, why didn't you tell anybody sooner? Or why don't you have all the details? And how is it that you don't remember? Because in these moments, you are fearing for your damn life. And there's a whole bunch of other thoughts going on besides making sure the damn facts are straight. You know what I mean? It's easy to lose chunks of time in these situations. Oh my God. But ironically, after that situation, life just kind of went on like it does, you know. In my mind, I'm thinking, oh well, I didn't kill this person, so I guess this is it, you know. You discharge my weapon, we talk about it, and then we move forward. You know, this is life now. This is where I am. You know, it gives you that reality of the situation. You know, I'm going to continue on now. Not bothered. Because this is what it's like, you know. You almost killed somebody today, but, you know, are you going to be at the MWR tent tonight? It's salsa night. You know, I'm just like, oh, yeah, that's how it is. So, that's why I don't like porta potties. And that's why that's a trigger. Because somebody literally almost died at my hand over a damn porta potty. I am going to have more stories like this coming up about my experiences in Iraq. So stay tuned.